Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Come on!
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Tuesday's study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the Srimad Bhagavatam show. Who would think in Kali Yuga we're going to get a Srimad Bhagavatam show? You do. That's what we're offering here. We give an entertaining approach to the Srimad Bhagavatam while we're sort of studying it. And guess what, Kastuba? We had a very sweet, sweet baby Krishna last night, and we're having another one tonight.
What is sweet baby Krishna? Tell me.
Sweet baby Krishna is where I tell Krishna Leela, Krishna stories, and
what is your source for the stories? So where do the stories come from?
All different places. Last night was
all different places.
All different places. I just make them up. No, I'm just kidding. Authoritative sources, Mr. Kastuba. Yesterday they came from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam directly.
Excellent.
And it was the story of the deliverance of Muchakunda, which was great. It's such a good story.
Everybody needs to know that, right? Like if you
there's so many stories people don't know. And you know how I know that they don't know? Because I quizzed them all yesterday. I quizzed Mara. Mara did pretty good on the quiz, I will say that. But I play this game where I quiz Mara, and the message board has to see if they can beat Mara in the quiz. And we're going to do that again tonight. At what time did we say? 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock tonight, 8 to 9 or 8 to 8.
Okay. That's for Patreon members, right?
Now that's for Patreon members. First of all, I want to thank Patreon members. They're the silent group that actually pledges some type of money a month. Some people pledge $5.
They keep us, they clothe us, they keep us alive.
You're responsible for Kastuba's clothing. And for the price of a cold brew latte, you could clothe Kastuba. Or you could just buy him a latte. Anyway, I want to thank all of our Patreon members. I don't give them enough praise and appreciation, but thank you. It really keeps us going. If you want to be part of that gang, not only do you support us, but we try to offer a whole treasure trove. Imagine finding a treasure trove in your house. Well, here's Wisdom of the Sages. It's fun. It's a podcast. You learn a little. You walk away with something. You tell your friends. You enjoy it. Maybe you join a sage group. Okay, that's good. Imagine getting a treasure trove. It's like having a house that you live in, nice house, good house. You get fed there, you have your lawn, and then all of a sudden you find a secret passageway in that house that leads you to a treasury room filled with coins of gold and necklaces and jewels. That's what the Patreon thing is. There's a whole treasure trove of workshops and sweet baby Krishnas. You never will be bored again. There's so many classes we do, and people volunteer their times. Excellent yoga teachers, as well as workshops. And as a matter of fact, we have our good friend Roddy Case doing a 4-part series on astrology coming up soon. So I'm just going to give a shout out to that. So excellent. Patreon members, patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks to this community for supporting us. We appreciate it a lot. It truthfully couldn't happen without you.
Mara.
Now. It sounded like you're trying to get rid of me when you said Mara.
Just keep it moving along. That's Mara. All. Mara.
All right. Also for our Patreon members tomorrow night, Mangala Chitra is offering a slow flow asana class.
Slow flow.
Slow.
Yeah, tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. And then this Sunday, our friend Anu is offering his postural yoga class at 10 a.m. for our Patreon members.
All right.
Bright Light is there giving it 2
Yes,
thumbs
I
up.
see. Bright light.
Yeah.
To like Anu's class.
Yeah,
He's-
people really do. And then for Bhakti Recovery Group meetings, today the men meet at noon and the women meet at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Pretty good. And we also want to announce that our Wisdom of the Sages retreat almost filled up. If you're interested or thinking about it or put it on a fence, come hang with us. The weekend of October 6th through the 9th at Super Soul Farm. It's our last retreat of the year before we head to India. So
Okay.
please come and join us. Go to Wisdom of the Sages.
Enough announcements. I'm sick of it.
You got them. Well, that's part of it, man. We don't do
many.
ads. I'm not talking about
Okay.
some spirulina powder you should take and
No,
some
but-
other, cash app or whatever. This
All
is
right.
just all stuff we're doing. It's not an
How
ad.
about-
We're just
how about-
talking.
How about the nugget?
No, now I'm not going to do the nugget. You do the nugget.
Okay, I'll do the nugget without you.
You do the nugget.
Come on, take it up, Roger. Let's go.
Serious. You do the
You
nugget.
got a little ornery.
I was in a great mood. I was in a great, and I overcame a lot. I was really suffering last night.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Come on, Bubba Ganoush. Read the nugget.
He always
Try
gets
not
me
to
with.
laugh at
He always
that.
gets me with Baba Ganoush. What can I do after that? All right, here is our nugget. No,
Who's it
no.
from?
This is from Alexander Pope.
Oh, yeah.
He was not a pope, and he was not a president. I thought he was a president. He's not. Matter of fact, he's English. We probably didn't like him back then.
He's an English poet, translator, and satirist. He's like one of the most famous English poets of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a lot of famous sayings come from him.
Really? Like what?
Yeah, like I'll tell you what comes from him.
Bird in the
from Pope.
hand.
Not a bird in hand. Little learning is a dangerous thing. To
Yeah.
err is human, to forgive divine.
It's the Bible.
Fools rush in where angels fear to tread.
I thought that was Bow Wow Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
easy. Roger. Okay, so those are just a few.
Aaron,
So
Aaron
what's he
thought
got
it
to
was
say
Iron
about
Maiden, I
life
guess.
that might be?
Here's what he said. Here's what he said.
Yeah.
False. By the way, that's a great quote too. Fools rush in where angels dare to
Well,
tread.
do you remember the past time with my guru and you and that quote?
No,
You don't remember that. I was there. I watched it.
it was an important instruction. I forgot it.
He was telling you that you should write a song called Fools Rush In Where Angels Fear to Tread.
What did I say? Bow Wow Wow already wrote a song like
I
that.
don't know. And then he said something like, and you can rhyme it with dead or bullet in the head. He was helping you. You've yet to write that song.
I
Right
love when Tamal Christian Maharaj tried to get punk with me.
You should. You got to carry out that instruction before you
Okay.
die, before you're dead. Okay, what does Alexander Pope have to say?
False happiness is like false money.
Oh,
Hmm.
you have an
passes-
interest in false money. I've always noticed Confederate money, things like that.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
False happiness is like false money. It passes for a long time as well as true, as the true.
As
It
if it's
serves
true.
some ordinary occasions, but when it is brought to the touch, right,
Or
you
to the
find the
touch.
lightness and alloy and feel the loss.
Mm.
False happiness. No, to me, this is like happiness created in the mind, mental happiness.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it's really obvious when we talk about things like consumption, when we think like, yeah, I'm going to get that. Oh, we're going to get that. And then it'll be good. We're going to get this and get that. Oh, that's going to be great. Oftentimes those things that we get cause us more distress or cause us more fear of losing that very thing we got. Like what happens if something happens to this? Or how am I going to maintain this? Or this thing has become a massive headache. Sometimes. That's why when you're actually exhausted with consumption, you want to go simple. You want to pull it back.
You renounce.
You renounce.
That's, there's a shift right there. There's a shift, like in all of the Vedic teachings, right? There's a shift from one is saying like you can enjoy this world, you can find your happiness in this world, just do it with the right piety, cultivate good karma, you know, express your gratitude through the right rituals, be kind and generous, and you'll enjoy and you'll find happiness in this world. And then I liked when he said, but when it's brought to the touch. I don't know. I've never heard that. Have you ever heard that phrase before?
Yeah. Quick to the touch, or
Brought to the touch. Like, I assume it means
in
like
reality. It means in reality.
Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Like when you're in touch like that. I was thinking he meant like when you
actually
examine it
touch
carefully,
money.
when
Yeah.
you examine it closely.
You can feel a fake counterfeit. Ever get a counterfeit bill? You're like, wait a second, this
Yeah.
isn't real.
Then you try to pass it off.
Yeah, here you go. You take this. You take this money, please.
But when it's brought to the touch, so you have like the Vedic teachings that are saying, hey, you can enjoy this world, but then like the Gyanis, right? The Upanishadic thinkers, they're like, let's examine this a little bit more. Let's bring it to the touch, and then we'll find its lightness and its alloy, right? Its lightness, I guess, means it's not so substantial, right?
Cheap.
And alloy means, there's all kinds of other stuff mixed into this happiness. This is
You ever hold a palm full of quarters before 1964?
I don't think I have.
You should. Henry knows what I'm talking about. You hold a palm full of quarters that predate 1964 or 64 and earlier. They're all silver. And when you shake them in your hands, they sound different. They sound substantial. And then you hold quarters now. You're like, this is to the touch. This is not real money.
Okay. So in the same way, just the same way as like a coin enthusiast like Raghunath, one who really knows the subject matter of coins, they're disappointed when they hold a handful of these latter day modern quarters.
The numismatics know what I'm talking about out there.
Yeah. So in a similar way, the Gyanis, those that really think about life and examine it from the yogic perspective, the material happiness begins to feel light. It doesn't feel substantial. This isn't real happiness. He says false happiness. I don't know exactly what Alexander Pope meant when he said false happiness. But I think from our Bhagavatam perspective, we could say false happiness is the happiness that's experienced from external things and their contact with the senses, right? Then we feel like, okay, that brings me happiness. Real happiness would be that I am spirit, I'm eternal, I am made of spirit, and its nature is happiness. So that's like the real happiness. Everything through the senses is kind of an artificial, virtual happiness. It's not real. And when you bring it to the touch, most of us may go through our entire life without bringing it to the touch.
Sure.
We just want more of it. We don't analyze it critically. Is this really what life is all about? Finding happiness through the senses? Is this what I'm meant to do?
There's happiness in every one of the gunas. There's happiness in the mode of goodness when we're regulated with our lifestyle, with our diet, with our relationships, how we treat each other, how we treat ourselves, how we talk to ourselves internally, our internal conversation and our external conversation. If it's done in an appropriate way that's healthy and uplifting, that is sattvic. Then there is, of course, rajasic happiness, where you're like, we're going to do this. We're going to get this. I'm going to work hard and accumulate this, and then I'll be happy. We know that one. I've ordered this. We're going to go here. It's going to be great when we're there. It's not about being here now. It's about projecting your happiness somewhere in the future. And the whole material world, very often, especially the Western culture and the culture we've created, is living not in happiness, not in a sattvic happiness, but a hope to enjoy down the road. And sometimes even the hope or the expectation of fear is going to make us work hard to overcome the fear so we can hope to enjoy. Like, I got to get this job because I could get sick and I'm going to need health insurance. So I'm going to counteract my problem by doing this to hope to not be in a desperate situation in the future. It's never tangible and now. And then, of course, there's happiness that is tamasic. Tamasic happiness is like we are.
Enjoy my suffering.
Yeah, it's a dark type of happiness where we're just like miserable and just reminds me of high school and kids were like, yeah, we got so messed up last night, it was great, and woke up and vomited in ignorance.
Yeah, but even the sattvic happiness to the bhakti yogi, that's still false happiness, right? To the gyanis, to the bhaktas, it's still insubstantial compared to the happiness which is our nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this we're starting a new chapter today, Raghunath.
Yeah,
Bhagavatam, where Narada, he's gonna float on down. Narada is like the emblem, the ambassador of bhakti, just floating around the universe, popping up at different times, always representing, right? And he's going to come up on Daksha's sons. And they've all been trained up by Daksha in more of that karmic mentality, right? Yeah. Be good, be pious, be religious, and enjoy the world. And Narada's going to kind of shake them out of their duty, kind of like say, hey, wake up. And at one point in this chapter, he's going to say, examine this type of happiness, bring it to the touch. And he's going to, in 9 verses in a row, he ends with the same line. Okay? You with me there, guys?
What's the line?
He says, Kim asat karma bir bhavet. Kim is like a question, like what is this all about? What? Kim asat, meaning untrue or illusory or temporary, right? Insubstantial. Mm-hmm. Kim asat karma bir bhavet, meaning what is the use of this activity, this karmic activity? What is the use of trying to find happiness through the external things, through good karma? What's the value in this? Think about it, he's saying. Think about it. He says it 9 times, right? Kim asat karma bir bhavet.
That's one of my mantras. You know that, right?
What's that?
Think it through. That's one of the Raghunath mantras.
Think it through.
Think it through. Oh, we're going to do this?
Not quite.
Think it through.
Not quite.
Oh, we're going to do that. Think that through.
Okay.
Hmm?
I'm not sure if people thousands of years from now will be quoting you, think it through. They may be. But we know that today we're still quoting Narada.
We're still quoting Narada. Think it through. I find that's a useful statement. I've been using that for years. Think it through.
It's fine, Ragnar. There's nothing wrong with think it through. It's good. But it's not what's going to come up in this chapter. Okay. It's nice, though.
All right. Where are we at?
Okay. It sounds a little high pressure. Raghunath,
you're trying to chop me down today. That's my vibe.
I'm not trying to chop you down. It's just I'm just trying to keep you
like resurrect my spirits coming off some like internal emotion.
I'm just gonna lift you up for the rest of Raghunath, I promise you, for the rest of the show, I'm just gonna lift you up. Come on, Baba Ganoush. Let's read the next.
There you go. That's all it takes. All right. What's up? Where are we, Mara?
We're in the first verse of the new chapter. This is...
Yeah, we're starting a new chapter.
Oh, okay. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshvabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati tamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Midatam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. I love how David Houseworth is working in the warehouse and he stops everything, puts his hands in prayer, and just was like, he doesn't care. He's aloof to public opinion. Everyone in the workhouse is like, what the hell is going on with David? He
He's like,
stopped it.
"Click,
He's
click."
he's kneeling down, praying in the warehouse. You know what? He's a serious guy. Get used to it, people.
That's right. He can do both things at the same
He
time.
can do both things.
He does it better. when he's
Sometimes
listening
you
to
got to
those
stop
MCs.
and say a prayer, aloof to public opinion.
Nice.
I'll walk around chanting Hare Krishna, singing, walking down the street. I don't care what people think.
Okay.
Let's go.
So why don't we get started on this new chapter? Now, this chapter is entitled
Narada Muni Cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Now, that's not good. That doesn't
that sounds
sound good, does it?
inauspicious right off the bat.
Yeah, you don't start cursing
It was like
great sages.
it was like kind of like, okay, Prajapati Daksha kind of blew it back in the third canto. Okay,
He's gonna
took
blow it.
rebirth last chapter, and he's
He didn't
doing
learn a
good.
lesson. He was doing good. He was doing good there.
Said some great
Yeah, he
prayers.
cursed Shiva. We know, or he got mad at Shiva. I get it. He like talked down to Shiva. Okay, he made a mistake. He learned his lesson. Oh, he didn't learn his lesson again. Don't you hate people witnessing people? Not hate them, but hate the situation when you see a person make the same mistake again. It's like, oh, you didn't get that the first time.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ouch.
So yeah, what we know so far is that Narada is going to curse, or Prajapati Daksha is going to curse Narada. Narada of all people. Well, let's see how this goes, Raghu.
Text 1. Impelled by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, Prajapati
Why
Daksha
don't you
begot
say
10,000 sons.
Why did you?
Let me flow. Let me flow.
Why don't you say
Why do you
Srila
try to
Sukadeva
control it?
Goswami said, so we know who's
I know.
talking?
Well,
Why do you
I
skip
know.
that?
I'm just assuming that people
there's no-
understand it's the narrator.
No, they don't. You can't assume
do.
that. Don't assume. Tell us who's speaking. It's right there in the
You
verse.
got
Sri
control
Sukadeva-
issues, sir. You got control issues.
We're
We're not in control.
I'm just trying to get
We're
you
not
to
in
read it the way it
control.
is. Hit it.
Narrator said.
Please.
Also notice,
Who's the
Srila Sukadeva
narrator?
Goswami. Impelled by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, Prajapati Daksha begot 10,000 sons.
Amazing.
Woo. In the womb of Panchajani. My dear king, these sons were called the Haryashvas.
Do you think that was like one per day, all at
I think
once?
we can't even understand this stuff.
Let's
It
not
doesn't
even try
even
to
have to
figure it
be
out.
like a. It could be a mental. You know, it's not like he's having sex. It could be like a mental conception.
No, in the
as well.
womb.
I know, but
Oh,
that doesn't.
you're saying like
it
he
still
may have
happened with
mentally-
his mind. He doesn't have to do it the gross way that humans do
Well,
it.
the whole thing we heard that he was saying engage in sex. The last chapter it was talking about them having sex.
There can be mental sex.
I don't think that's what's going on here, but
Okay,
maybe you may be right, Raghunath. You
It's
may be
higher
right.
planets, man.
I'm just going to uplift you. You could be right about that, Raghunath.
I could be. Not everything is gross on that planet. Like everything is gross here. It's sweaty and smelly. It's not that.
Okay,
It's higher.
let's keep
higher.
lifting it higher right now. Okay, he had 10,000 sons.
10,000 sons. My dear king. It's a lot of oatmeal. My dear king, all the sons of Prajapati Daksha were alike in being very gentle and obedient to the orders of their father. Wouldn't that be nice? When
Yeah.
their father ordered them to beget children, they all went in the western direction.
Okay. So I sometimes we hear like right at the beginning of the Bhagavatam we heard that Sutta Goswami was praised by the other sages for being gentle, right? Saumya. It's a quality of a pure devotee, I suppose, huh? A good quality.
In the west, where the river Sindhu meets the sea.
Where's that,
Where-
Raghunath?
The river Sindhu?
Where
I
does it
think
meet
that's
the
the
sea?
Arabian Sea. I think it meets in
Yeah.
the Arabian
Do you
Sea.
know where like though in modern
Gujarat, maybe?
it's just north of Gujarat. It's actually in Pakistan. It's near Karachi. That the Indus River comes
Okay,
down
so
from the
Did
Himalayas.
a little geography study this morning,
right?
didn't
I did.
you?
It starts up in Tibet. It starts up in Tibet, then flows north, and then makes a sharp turn and starts coming down through Pakistan,
Mhm.
and then it enters the sea. I think just north of Karachi.
That's where they got the name Hindu from the Sindhu River. People east of
Yes.
the Sindhu that were called Hindus. The Greeks couldn't pronounce their H's or something like that. Never heard
Okay.
that?
I've heard that.
Okay. In that holy place, the Haryashvas began regularly touching the lake's waters.
Oh no, you skipped a verse. Okay.
In the west, where the river Sindhu meets the sea, there is a great place of pilgrimage known as Narayan Saras. That's in Pakistan, huh? Many sages and other
I mean, that was
advanced.
even it was India in modern days, but yeah, now it's
Yeah.
Pakistan.
Many sages and other advanced in spiritual consciousness live there. Yeah, many Himalayan mountain peaks are in, which are sacred mountains, are in Pakistan, and a lot of holy places in Pakistan.
Yeah. So this is like the Lake Narayana Lake, right? They go there. They say, and this is significant, right? That you want to find the right place, a place that's suitable. They've been ordered by their father to also be like him, to help him in his mission, to help propagate, the population. And but they're seeing it as like a religious duty, and they're going to a holy place so that they can meditate deeply before they execute that order. Not a sage
in that holy place. The Haryashvas began regularly touching the lake's waters and bathing in them, gradually becoming very much purified, and they became inclined towards the activities of the Paramahamsas.
Now, I think that's significant. I think what that means is, although they went there to prepare themselves to be progenitors, right, to marry, to have children, I think what that's indicating is that they kind of became a little impressed by the renunciates.
Right.
Right.
Renunciates are impressive.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, because of their father had ordered them to increase the population, they performed severe austerities to fulfill his desires. One day, when the great sage Narada saw those boys performing such fine austerities to increase the population, Narada approached them.
Now, here we go. This is where it all starts. Right?
Narada, he's a troublemaker.
He's starting some trouble.
He's an instigator.
He's saying, hey.
The great sage Narada said, "My dear Haryashvas, you have not seen the extremities of the earth. There is a kingdom where only one man lives, and where there is a hole from which, having entered, no one emerges."
So he's starting to speak in allegorical language.
A woman there, who is extremely unchaste, adorns herself with various attractive dresses, and the man who lives there is her husband. In that kingdom, there is a river flowing in both directions, a wonderful home made of 25 material elements, a swan that vibrates various sounds, and an automatically revolving object made of sharp razors and thunderbolts. You have not seen all of this, and therefore you are inexperienced boys without advanced knowledge. How then will you create progeny?
Okay.
What are they talking about? What is this analogy?
Well, we're going to find out. They're really smart. They're going to kind of understand. But imagine that you were trained up in one place by Prajapati Daksha, then you got this order. Your father's very impressive. He's probably the most impressive person you've ever met in your life. And you get this order. You're very dutiful. You and your brothers all go to this distant place where the sadhus live, and you're living in that unique atmosphere. And then someone appears to you, Narada. Can you imagine what Narada looks like, Raghunath? What his voice sounds like? I mean,
he's like a beautiful musical angel.
Yeah, I don't think he's little. I don't know why he's not.
He's like this big.
I don't think so. I've never heard that. But yeah, this beautiful celestial being, right? He's as beautiful as any being in the universe. Like he can travel to the higher planets, to the lower planets. He is free to go wherever he wants. He's the freest person you've ever seen in your life. Father is like very impressive, but he's kind of like rigid.
Yeah.
Narada is just like free, right? And beautiful and as wise as any words spoken you're hearing coming from him. He seems to be light and deeply, deeply, deeply spiritual. Suddenly, like, wow, you're real far away from father now, right? And suddenly this,
like you're going off to college and you meet some crazy professor.
That's kind of like
Professor's like, I know you were raised Christian, but Hear me out on this one.
Yeah, and you know, Narda's kind of clever too, because he's so far he's saying like, well, how will you how will you carry out your duty of creating progeny if you're not like well informed about life? He's really about to steer them away entirely from creating progeny, but he's just kind of like, you know, he's gonna flip it at a certain point, you know. But right now he's almost talking like, hey, I want to help you carry out your father's order, but he's really actually saying like, well, why do you have to do that? Aren't there better things to do with your life?
This is college right here. The Haryashvas understood.
Oh, but can I
Excellent.
read one thing, Raghunath?
Yeah.
Just in the purport to that, Srila Prabhupada wrote this. Indirectly, Narada is asking them to find within the core of their hearts the situation of the Supersoul Lord Vishnu, for then they would be truly experienced. In other words, one who is too involved in their material environment and does not look within the core of their heart is increasingly entangled in the illusory energy. Okay.
It's an illusion.
What's that?
It's an illusion.
Yeah. But look within. You know, again, it has to do with today's quote from Alexander Pope. You know, find what's real, and that's internal. That's inside. Everything else you're going to find external. You're going to find that it's ultimately insubstantial.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't really experienced what you're meant to experience. Look within the core of the heart. Look there, Raghu. Look.
I'm looking. I think you need to go inside yourself. Look.
Thank you.
I'm looking. I'm in my heart right now.
Okay.
I act from my
I'll
heart
keep looking.
space. My heart space.
I'm
Everybody
gonna
says
look
it
into
now.
your heart.
Where did people come up with that phrase, heart space?
Because that means
go into your
it's
heart
not-
space.
heart space, because it means not just like the organ, the heart, but like that
Heart
area.
space. Oh,
where
you
the
use
soul
that
and
phrase
the
too?
supersoul
I didn't know
reside.
that.
Huh?
I thought it was just modern yoga phrase.
Who said heart space? Did Prabhupada say heart space?
I don't know. No, I'm just saying people say that.
Yeah.
Your heart
It's
space.
all right. Okay, let's keep going.
Text 9. Alas, your father is omniscient, but you do not know his actual order. Without knowing the actual purpose of your father, how will you create progeny?
He's been very tricky here.
Very
His father's gonna be very
tricky,
upset.
Narada Muni.
I want to help you follow your father's order. He knows what he's talking about, but do you really know what you're talking about?
Sri Sukadev Goswami said, hearing these enigmatic words. Do you know what enigmatic means, Mara?
Enigmatic. It's an enigma. It's kind of
mystery.
hidden.
Puzzle.
It's mysterious.
It's a
Yeah, it's
puzzle.
puzzling. Yeah.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle. And enigmatic words of Narada Muni. The Haryashvas considered them with their natural intelligence without help from others.
Okay, so
The
there,
Haryashvas
all of that talk about the revolving razor blades and the unchaste woman and the hole that you don't come out of, and then all of that, the hole made of 25 elements, kingdom where the river's flowing in both directions. They're thinking, what does he mean? And they're figuring it out. They're really smart. They're getting.
No, he's speaking an analogy. The Haryashvas understood the meaning of Narada's words as follows. The word bu, the earth, refers to the field of activities. The material body, which is a result of the living being's actions, is his field of activities, and it gives him false designations. Right? Since the beginning of time, he has received various types of material bodies, which are the roots of bondage to the material world. If one foolishly engages in temporary fruitive activities and does not look towards the cessation of this bondage, what will be the benefit of his actions?
Okay, so this is the first one with that Kim Asat Karma Bir Bhavet. Right? Prabhupada will translate it a little bit differently, like in each verse, but yeah, what is the use of asat karma be?
Asat.
Of
Temporary
work,
temporary work,
illusory karmic endeavoring for happiness through external things. You could translate it in different ways. What's the use of it?
What good is it?
This is within this verse, Raghunath. Let's just see where it starts. Right? Where does Narda start? The whole thing. A lot to learn from him. The material body, which is a result of the living being's actions. You could say previous actions, right? We're born
Sure.
into a body because of
We have a body because of our desires in a previous body.
Yeah. Is his field of activities. This is my field. This is my avatar. This is the thing that I'm using to move throughout the world.
The Stuba avatar.
And and he says the material body, which is a result of the living being's actions, previous actions, is his field of activities, and it gives him false designations. Okay, that's key. That's the false premise upon which everything is built.
Everything. That's the first two numbers that we add together in this massive equation, and we got it wrong. 1 plus 1 is 14. And now everything's wrong after that.
No matter how expert you are at like calculus and figuring everything, if you screwed up that first, 2 plus 3 equal 5, you're done. Right? Even 1 plus 1 equals 2. You make that false premise.
1 plus 1 does equal 2.
No, I know, but you screw that up.
Oh, if you screw that up, yes.
It does, doesn't it?
If you say 1 plus 1 equals 14, even if every other problem you solve is perfect, the initial one is wrong.
Even if you're better at everybody else at math.
Even if you button every button perfectly, but the one at the bottom is off. The whole shirt's off.
The whole shirt's off. Yeah. And so this here's Narda saying, hey, everybody, just like Alexander Pope was kind of like, you know what, happiness, when you look at it, it's kind of false. We have this kind of false idea. It's simple that we think I'm this body. We're switching through many different ones, and each time we're in it, we identify with it. So therefore, it says it gives him false designations, right? Even false designations, even plural, even in one body, like I'm a man and I'm American. Okay, those are two designations. They're both false, right? Mm-hmm. And then you just add them up, and then not only that, you're going through different bodies as we pass through this world.
And while you're in the body, you think, I possess, I'm the owner, I'm the possessor, I'm the controller. And those prove not to be. And so you know what you do? You get almost like a little toy to play with that makes you feel like it, but you got to lose it. Like we're almost like baited into thinking, yeah, it does seem like I am an eternal being here. And then I'll never die in age, and I get to keep everything. And you get to keep something for a year or 5 years or 15 years. It's like, how many things in this house have I had for 15 years even? And you get rid of it and you turn it over and you're like, okay, that wasn't mine. That wasn't mine. That wasn't mine. My body wasn't mine. That was part of our reading yesterday. Muchukunda in the story read in Sweet Baby Krishna yesterday. He was petitioned by the demigods to help him. Now, he was a powerful king. He had everything. And the demigods were like, you're really powerful and we're low on staff.
We want to draft you.
Can we borrow you to do a little bit of work for us?
Like a mercenary.
Yeah, a hired gun. He went up there and he kicked butt. And they were like, thank you so much. We couldn't have done this without you. Now you can go back to your kingdom. Went back to his kingdom. They were in a different time dimension.
Oh.
He came back. It's like everything's different. Like
in other words,
ever see pictures
because of relative time.
Yeah,
he thought only a short time had passed, but actually many thousands of years had passed.
Everything, his wife, gone. His kingdom, his children, like sometimes when I go to Trader Joe's, I'll go to the bathroom, and in the bathroom at Trader Joe's in Albany is giant pictures of Albany before it was Albany. It was just like beautiful Shaker villages and creeks and farmland, and I was like, what the hell happened? Imagine if a Shaker guy came back and was like, where did my farm go? Where did it all go? It's like you built this ugly city right on top of my beautiful farm. That's what happened, basically. Muchukunda came back. So this energy of God, this time factor, just we think. How did I get talking about this? We were in a really good role.
Muchukunda, false designation.
Yeah, but bring that. Why did I talk about Muchukunda?
False designations.
False designations, and it comes with having a body. I start to think I'm controlled. I start to think I've got one up on the time factor. I don't.
Okay.
Me and Kastuba it was pointed out to us this morning on a text thread. You guys are inching close to 60. Raja Bihari told us in a text thread. I was almost offended. I was like, you don't know me. I was like, wait, I am inching close. I'm doing more than inching close. I'm like sprinting towards 60.
2.5 years and you're there.
2.5, Prabhu, not even less. Our birthdays are in January.
Yeah.
It's
Less than 2.5.
Yeah. And then 60. If you ask anybody about 60, they're like, oh, yeah, 60. That's old.
Yeah,
Anybody
once
will
you
say
hit
that's
60, it's kind of like hard to say you're not old, right?
It's hard to say. You could dress young. You could wear camouflage shorts, and you know what I mean.
Okay. But so I think this commentary is worth us reading, Raghunath. We're talking about this false premise, I am the body. Based on that, every decision that we make for our happiness is wrong. But let's see what Prabhupada has to say about this verse. Mara, digging it up.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm blaming this one on Mara.
I don't understand why it comes down. Why didn't you just?
You know what's horrible? I remember when the Rolling Stones were 60 and they were like doing a reunion tour, and I was like, 60 years old? What a bunch of losers.
That's nothing. I remember when
I was like, I'm going to be 60 to the youth. I'm not even as big as the Rolling Stones.
I remember when they were in their 30s, and I thought, oh, how can they keep going with this? It's like they're rock stars. How you can't be like 40 years old like Dad and be a rock star.
Oh, yes, you can. Talk to the hardcore scene. Okay.
Narada
Muni spoke to the Haryashvas, the sons of Prajapati Daksha, about 10 allegorical subjects: the king, the kingdom, the river, the house, the physical elements, and so forth. After considering these by themselves, the Haryashvas, they huddled up, all 10,000 of them. What is he talking about? I'm sure there was like one Haryashva was like the brains of the elder family, the elder, and then the other guys were just like. Anyway, after considering these by themselves, the Haryashvas could understand that the living entity encaged in his body seeks happiness.
They're figuring it out.
But takes no interest in how to become free from the engagement.
Okay.
This is a very important verse, since all the living entities in this material world are very active, having obtained their particular types of bodies. A man works all day and night for sense gratification, and animals like hogs and dogs also work for sense gratification all day and night. Birds, beasts, and all other conditioned living entities engage in various activities without knowledge of the soul encaged within the body.
That's so key, right? That's so key. Yeah. It's just fundamental.
Yeah.
That
all other conditioned living entities engage in various activities without knowledge of the soul encaged in the body.
We have the potential for that knowledge. If we miss it, then we got this false premise, and every shirt that we button is messed up. Every calculation that we do. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
But with especially in the human form of body, one's duty is to act in such a way that he can release himself from his engagement. Okay. But without the instructions of Narada or his representative in the disciplic succession, key phrase, people blindly engage in bodily activities to enjoy maya sukha,
illusory happiness.
Illusory happiness, flickering temporary happiness. They do not know how to become free from the material engagement. Rishabhadev, therefore, said that such activity is not at all good, since it encages the soul again and again in a body subjected to the threefold miseries of the material condition.
Okay. Want to keep going?
Keep going, sure. The Haryashvas, the sons of Prajapati Daksha, could immediately understand the purport of Narada's instructions.
They must have been very, very smart.
Very in tune, or at least some of the elders. Okay, this is what we're doing, guys. So listen, this is what
I figured it out. I
what?
cracked the code.
By the river. What do you mean by the river? Just trust me on this one. The rivers. The Haryashvas, the sons of Prajapati Daksha, could immediately understand the purport of Narada's instructions. Our Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for such enlightenment. We are trying to enlighten humanity so that people may come to the understanding that they should work hard in tapasya for self-realization and freedom from the continuous bondage of birth and death, old age, and disease in one body after another. Maya, however, is very strong. She is expert in putting impediments in the way of this understanding.
Now, that's really important, like to know that once I begin to live this new life, this life dedicated towards spiritual knowledge and ultimately towards bhakti,
Mhm.
that there will be tests put in our path. Count on it, right?
You can count on taxes, death, and tests on our spiritual path.
Impediments.
I'm getting tested. I'm getting tested all the time here.
Okay.
Christian wants to see, are you into this or not? I'm like, I'm into it. Oh yeah, how about this? I'm into it. Oh yeah, what about this? Oh, Krishna. Maya, however, is very, very strong. She is expert in putting impediments in the way of our understanding. Therefore, sometimes one comes to Krishna consciousness movement, but again falls into the clutches of Maya, not understanding the importance of this movement.
Try to understand the importance. That's what we got to do. Okay. So that was the first Kimasat Karma Bir Bhavet verse. What is the point? What is the use of karmic endeavor for happiness?
Mhm.
Now comes the next one, Raghunath.
This is
12.
Narada Muni. Narada Muni had said that there was a kingdom where there is only one male. The Haryashvas realized the purport of the statement. The only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who observes everything, everywhere. He is full of 6 opulences and fully independent of everyone else. Mara, name the 6 opulences right now. Who can name them before Mara? Go. Message board.
In Sanskrit, please.
Oh.
she was stepping up to the
Beauty
mic all
and,
ready to go. No, English is fine.
Okay. Beauty, power, renunciation. Beauty, power, renunciation, strength, intelligence.
It's
I
the
got
one
5,
that
I think. There's one more, yeah.
people usually skip this one.
I said
Strength,
renunciation.
knowledge, beauty, renunciation.
Oh, did you just say it?
Wealth.
Had she said
Oh,
renunciation?
wealth. That was one.
Wealth.
Okay.
So that's the translation of what Bhagavan means.
Oh, so Karuna's
Karuna's
giving us
putting
the
up the
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Mara.
Virya, Yasha,
Sure.
so that's
Aishvarya,
strength, wealth, Aishvarya,
Vairagya, Shriya,
fame, Vairagya, renunciation, Shriya.
beauty. Nice.
Okay, so the only enjoyer is this getting showed up by 10-year-olds. That's tough.
I mean, if I'm gonna get shown up by a 10-year-old, it's
just
gonna be
one
Karuna,
10-year-old.
no question.
Okay, it's just
Yeah,
one
just
10-year-old
one.
out
She's
there.
much more advanced.
The only enjoyer, you know, she's been doing this for lifetimes, Karuna.
Okay.
The only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who observes everything everywhere. He is full of 6 opulences and fully independent of everyone, right? We're all dependent on something or somebody.
He's independent.
Yeah. Like and you say, well, I'm independent. Really? Are you independent of air, of sun, right? Water? We're completely dependent beings. He is independent. He is never subject to the 3 modes of material nature, for he is always transcendental to this material creation. If the members of human society do not understand him, the Supreme, through their advancement in knowledge and activities, but simply work very hard, like cats and dogs. Maybe the author hasn't met Gus. My dog does not work hard. If we work very hard like cats and dogs all day and night for temporary happiness, what will be the benefit of their activities? Here again, what will be the benefit of their activities?
Again,
Kim asat karma bir bhave.
Yeah. So this verse is kind of a push, you know, and it's kind of clicking in the minds of the Haryashvas, all 10,000 of them at once. You know, they're kind of like, oh, I get it. You know, he's kind of pushing us just beyond this idea of, we came here with this kind of like religious idea. You could say this kind of karma mishra bhakti idea of how we're going to be good religious boys and do the right good religious thing, and hey, the world's going to be happy for us because of that.
We don't want good religious boys.
And Narada's saying, yeah, I don't want you to be just good
We're gonna
religious
take
boys.
this
I
up
want
a
you to be
notch.
pure lovers of God. I want you to be like entirely spiritual. And he's just kind of pushing that way with this. Hey, there's only one enjoyer.
But I'm going
in
to
this
Sunday
world.
school and I'm an altar boy. No, we want
No.
more.
Yeah, because, you know, he's saying there's only one enjoyer. You know, that's Bhagavan. That's the
Yes, I
line
give
right
a little
now.
to Bhagavan, and I enjoy too.
Yeah, no. And an artist like saying you're not good. That's not it. That's a step up for people that are on a lower level. But you got to go all the way here, guys. Come on, you're young, you're free, you're not entangled. You could just like give your life and your soul and your heart entirely to Krishna right now. It's starting to click in their heads. If Daksha were here right now, he'd be freaking out.
Mm.
Hey, what are you saying here? Right? You're trying to stop them from doing their dharma.
Yeah.
He's like, Sarva Dharma Parityajad, forget all the dharmas, just give your life solely. Nard is pushing him towards that because he's that emblem, right? Again, he's like that personification, that ambassador of pure love, of prema. So it's starting to click with these guys.
All right.
Maybe we should stop there for today, huh?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow. That went quick. That's quick when you're having a good time, isn't it? Kastuba?
You're uplifted again, Raghunath. You're back up.
You guys want some takeaways?
Whoa, she's getting a little haughty.
Am I?
Good one. Oh, she's good.
She got me with the
Even that
old-
answer was haughty.
What was that? She used to be the humble servant.
Am I? Good one, man. Good one.
False happiness from sense gratification doesn't hold up to the touch.
It doesn't hold up to the touch, and you bring it to the touch. It's counterfeit. It's fake. It's phony. What do you? I want to ask you a question, Raghunath. When you go to a store and you break out $100 bill and they take out that yellow pen or they put it underneath that light,
Yeah, a
Do you feel
knot in my
offended?
stomach always forms. Like, oh,
okay. I was wondering if you felt offended, but you just feel scared.
I feel scared because I don't know where I got it from.
Mm.
And they're always changing bills anyway. It's like, I don't know. It might be counterfeit. I just got it. Yeah.
What's the use of karmic endeavor for temporary happiness?
What's the use?
What's these? Like those 500 rupee notes that are like worthless now in India.
Oh yeah, I lost some rupees on that.
You lost some rupees, right?
Yeah, not too
One
much.
day, Modi shut down the entire black market by saying, you have 20 or for something like 24 hours to turn in all your old 500 rupee notes or they're going to be worthless. And you better have accounting where you got them from. People were like, oh my God.
I got this huge stack of them over here.
Okay.
Chant and pray, aloof to public opinion.
Aloof.
Aloof.
We need knowledge of the soul to release our engagement.
Release my engagement. Sounds like serious. Right?
Engagement, yeah.
Engagement.
It does. Count on Maya testing us on our spiritual path.
You can
You can
take
count
that to
on
the
me.
bank.
You could do
That's your one for today.
Take a count on me.
No, that's
Look what-
take a chance on me.
You can count on me.
Who said you can take that to the bank? Think about that for a minute. Then where you can
Take that to the bank. Yeah.
Not a song.
Look within the core of your heart to be freed from material entanglement.
Look within the core of your heart. It's nobody. Just made that up.
You can't build a massive equation on initially false arithmetic.
That's right.
A little
False
wordy.
premise.
A little verbose.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think
This-
you're gonna like this one, Kastub.
What about me? Well, I like
Okay.
it.
We'll see. And just uplift Baba Ganoush.
Little Bubba Ganoush. Come on, Bubba Ganoush. I like that.
Oh,
That
people. What a day. What a great day it's going to be today. Put that in your brain. It's going to be a great day. Krishna is working at every moment for your evolution. Isn't that great news?
He's working for it?
Things-
Then why, if he's working for it, then why isn't it happening?
It's happening.
It
It's
is
happening, but not at your pace, Mr. Kastuba.
Okay.
This isn't Magic Land where you snap your fingers. Krishna's got a better plan for you. I know you got a plan. Krishna's got a much bigger, broader plan. He understands your ultimate good. Can't always get what you want, a wise man told me once.
But if you try sometimes,
But if you try sometime, Krishna will give you exactly what you need. Wow. So listen, everybody. It's going to be a special day today. You know why? This
baby
is
Krishna.
the day that Krishna and the cowherd girls, this is the special Don Leela tax pastime day.
I don't even.
You know that? Krishna attacks the gopis for walking over Govardhan Hill, and they got a little perturbed, and they started bickering back and forth. So this is a very
Kali Leela?
suspicious day. Madan Kali Leela.
Oh, that's what you ought to read today, Raghunath.
Yeah,
It's a bit esoteric. It's a bit esoteric.
it's a bit esoteric. I really didn't know what Baba Ganoush was. I was like, it's from Lebanon. That was like your staple. I thought you'd been eating that 3 meals a day. It's not.
It's just a way of, instead of saying Baba, you add Baba Ganoush to the end. And it sounds a little soft,
Baba Ganoush.
a little more
Sounds
affectionate.
Italian.